Now, our brother Jameion Fowler, shout out to him. He was on the beat once again. Now, in the past, he have rolled up on James Clyburn and asked him about reparations. He rolled up on Elizabeth Warren, asked about reparations, exposing them every time. Now he had a chance to run up on Bernie Sanders. Now, Mr. Bernie Sanders that want the black vote and say he gonna do all this and do all of that. But I want to play, before I get to playing this particular clip of our brother, just a short history of Bernie Sanders and how he responds to reparations anytime he's asked.
Position specifically on reparations. I asked the question because Elizabeth Warren, Julian Castro, they've indicated they want to support.
What does that mean? What do they mean? I'm not sure that anyone's very clear. What I've just said is that I think we must do everything that we can to address the massive level of disparity that exists in this country.
I'll tell you what they mean, because Elizabeth Warren has said black families have had a much steeper hill to climb. We need systematic structural changes to address that. Julian Castro has said, I have long thought that this country would be better off if we did find a way to do that, reparations.
Well, I agree with what Elizabeth said.
So you would support reparations?
But read what she said. What does that mean? She means, I think, I don't want to put words into her mouth, is what I said. Okay?
African Americans are starting to call for reparations for the many years of stolen labor through slavery. Is that something that you would support as president?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think it would be, first of all, its likelihood of getting through a Congress is nil. Second of all, I think it would be, very divisive.
Why not support reparations then?
What do you mean by reparations?
By reparations for slave defenders.
I know, but what does that mean exactly?
Money.
Well, I think that right now our job is to address the crises facing the American people and our communities. And I think there are better ways to do that than just writing out a check.
Sharice Parker, we really want to talk about what are you going to do about reparations?
You can get a photo. You go. Yeah, go. I'm not a selfie. I don't know. Oh, no.
Well, you wouldn't want to.
So you saw that footage. Bernie Sanders has an emphatic no to paying reparations to black Americans, the people that was brought here against their will, our ancestors. My ancestors was on a sugarcane plantation in Louisiana. He don't want to make recompense, but he wants to enjoy the fruit of our ancestors' labor. And as I covered in another video in the past, he has no problem giving reparations to his people, but he don't want our brothers and sisters who's owed that debt to have anything. Now let's get to our brother Jameion. So you saw his attitude. He runs. He acts like he don't know what reparations is. He emphatically says no to cash payments. He says a better way, but it's not a better way at all. He don't want black people to be equal. Because understand something, I told you guys this many times before. The Republican, Democrat, it don't matter. It's still white supremacy. One's more harsh, one's a little bit better, but the end result is white control, white domination, and black folks is going to suffer. Period. No matter what side it is. Now, let's get to our brother's video. Watch what Bernie Sanders instructed his goons to do.
Can I ask you a question about reparations, sir?
Sir. What are you doing, man? Sir. What are you doing?
Can I ask you a question about reparations? Sir, Can you get off me? I'm walking. I can walk myself. Hey, don't touch me.
Hey, your phone?
Are you trying to leave, sir?
Yeah.
Can I have you go out that way, please?
Oh, sorry.
He's got to go. Don't walk with you, man.
Okay, sorry.
So you see that he got the Secret Service to put hands on Jameion Fowler for asking a question about reparations. So Bernie Sanders, you think a black man needs to be escorted out for asking a question to you? A question? That is a registered voter. There are many people like myself and many others who are watching this video want to find out your positions. Maybe you changed your position. We didn't know. So you could have redeemed yourself for all the videos that you have been saying no, no, no. You could have changed your mind. and you chose not to. Once again, I will say to the black voters, if you're voting for Bernie Sanders at this point, you're voting against reparations. If you say you for reparations, then you need to get at Bernie Sanders just like you got at Kamala. I'm going to say that much, because we have no problem going at other folks, even Kamala Harris or whoever else. Bernie Sanders needs the Kamala Harris treatment from the black community at this point. All the people that's typing hashtag ADOS, well, you got more than enough evidence to go at Bernie Sanders about how he do not want you to have reparations. He don't. And we need to also bring to task the black individuals in our community who's supporting him and who's trying to prop him up in front of us. Black folks are suffering out here in America, suffering every day. And he don't want to rectify the suffering. It's not that we caused our own suffering. We didn't cause it. But this government is supposed to fix it. And he don't want to be a part of the solution for black America. He's a part of the problem. And that's why we have to look at him. Bernie Sanders needs to have the same result, that his numbers are tanking, because we aren't behind him. And I told you this, and I'm serious about this. Now, Marianne Williamson, she was the only person, and I still hear her talking about reparations. Now, what I would say, and I'm kind of shocked about this, I'm surprised that everyone who's for reparations are not really pushing her, and talking about it. I know how some of y'all are and say, I don't trust her, I don't trust this, I don't trust that. Well, if you got somebody speaking your language, you go with that, right? She didn't get to the debate stage, not because she didn't have the 130,000 donors. She didn't get to the debate stage because the head of the DNC, former Obama guy, Tom Perez, who's against reparations, he don't want reparations either. He came up with this criteria to block people like Marianne Williamson, Tulsi Gabbard. He says that you have to have at least 2% polling in 4 different national polls. Now, what's the corruption in that? We don't know who's polled. We don't know how many black people was polled. We don't know how many whoever else was polled. We don't know. How do we know that you didn't pick the people yourself? How do we know you didn't rig it? We don't know. But we know last time about the polls, you said Hillary Clinton was going to win and that she was clobbering Trump in all the polls. And then what happened? Trump's the president, not Hillary. So it lets you know about those polls and how they rigged them. People should have been pissed off about that. If you're talking about Donald Trump and his white supremacy and racism, wouldn't you want every person on the debate stage, no matter who they are, to hear what they have to say? Let the voters make their decision at the primary. Now you cutting people out. So we have anti-reparations running the party. You got people like Elizabeth Warren. You got people like Bernie Sanders, who we talking about, that's definitely against reparations. If anything, they say, oh, you can study it, but studying it is just BS, and we know this. So don't come tell me nothing about Bernie Sanders, because I'm going to pass you this video and say you give an account for that. You don't want to repair the hurt and pain that was caused to the black community. You don't want to repair it, then you're not getting my vote. And people say, well, you can't just vote off of reparations. Sure, I can. Yes, I can. You don't tell me how I can vote. If I want to be a single issue person, I'll be a single issue person. Oh, we're not going to get nowhere like that. I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about my community. We need reparations. Now, if you want us to vote for you, then tell him or whoever is running, we need to get our reparations. If you're not prepared to do that, that's fine. Then we're just not going to vote for you. That's all. We can vote for anyone else. And I believe in voting. Just like the young sister, Aretha Akile Kenyon, she had won her primary because people got behind her. She was talking about reparations, and she's still pushing it. She's going to go to the general election in November. Okay? It's because the people got out there. So if you're talking our language, we will vote for you. If not, then forget it. Gone are the days that you could just scare black people about racism. We don't care about no racism. We've been suffering that hundreds of years. Why? Donald Trump didn't start no racism. That's been going on way before he came around, way before he was born. You don't scare us to go vote. You try to scare black people before to go vote for Doug Jones. What did Doug Jones do for black people in Alabama? Nothing. He ain't done a thing. Try to say black women carrying the party and you don't support black women when they run for public office. Talking about the Democrat Party, so please. We see the games that you're playing. But to have the Secret Service push this brother out for asking a question, brothers and sisters, you should be very, very upset by that. And anyone discussing Bernie Sanders, you need to read them the book. Because if you're not pushing reparations at this point with these candidates, then we might as well just not do nothing. We might as well just fall off into the sunset and just get ready to put up daisies for the black community. Because they're trying to give everyone else programs and give everyone else the things that they need, but not us. Forget that. We have to take a stand and do something about it. But leave me a comment, let me know what you think about this particular story with Bernie Sanders and our brother Jameion Fowler. Like I said, the brother's doing very great work. And make sure you follow him on Twitter. We'll put his Twitter handle so you guys to go follow him. Go to the pinned comment. We'll make sure to put that there because, you know, get the brother some support. He putting the work out there.